So you have been also leading this campaign called Boycott China, and I think India awakens now and then, especially when we have incursions at our eastern sector or the northern sector borders with China. Uh, for that matter, but this is coming from an Indian perspective, but from a Tibetan perspective, why do you think this is very important that the world actually follows this?
See, very often, China apologists, people who think that we are still dependent on China, we still have to talk to them. People keep on saying that it is the people of China who are getting affected, and I say this, and it is important to know that finally people of China must be affected. Unless they are affected, they will not change, and they will not move. And unless the people of China move, no change is going to happen in China. So
Right,
the real target is people of China. We need to inspire them. We need to move them, and also the effect of the Chinese propaganda. This is something we must really disturb, and China is able to effectively rule over them by two methods. One one is um, the language barrier. China has created Chinese language as a tool to divide Chinese and rest of the world. And because much of the rest of the world do not speak Chinese or read Chinese,
right,
and people
correct,
in China do not speak any other language other than the Chinese language. So the language has become a divide between these two. Now,
right,
the Chinese who are in overseas or in foreign countries, like, for example, Hong Kong or Taiwan or Singapore or Malaysia, many other
yeah,
countries and free independent countries where Chinese language is spoken, many of them do not concern about the questioning China's dictatorial regime. They do not care about it. Yeah. So, and then also overseas Chinese, they are scared of questioning the wrongdoings of the Chinese Communist Party. Um, so this is how China remains unquestioned and
right,
undeterred in maintaining their kind of a rule. This is one is the language barrier, and second is the very highly sophisticated technological divide. China has created the internal China world and external world outside China. So whether it's by use of tech, internet, apps. Um, so there is the world inside China where whatever they say do not go out, and
right,
whatever being discussed or using any kind of tech on the outside do not go into China. So you see,
right,
China has effectively divided the world within China and outside, and that's where the international community is failing in in sharing with the Chinese people
right,
their idea of democracy, their idea of free speech, their idea of questioning their government, their idea of making your own government by people's power, something that internationally all the countries value so much.
right,
People's power, democracy. Um, so that this is how Xi Jinping is able to
yeah,
make himself the dictator forever.
right,
And there is and although there have been many protest rallies in China, police cars toppled, rock fights between police and people, these are hardly reported outside, and
right,
many of the media, um, being sponsored by Chinese advertisement, they
yeah,
do not carry these kind of reports. So people in the world are uninformed or completely ignorant, because these kind of reports of dissent and protests within China are not reported, like organ harvesting that you were earlier talking about. So you see,
right,
we see that this is how China has been maintaining its divide and its repressive regime within China and outside. So you see, this is how China maintains its rule, and they would constantly portray to the rest of the world either governments or corporate companies, and keep them reminding that your interest is in maintaining a cordial relationship with the government of China. And they would threaten, and sometimes they would weaponize this kind of a diplomatic or trade or relationship in terms of sports, to either discipline or sometimes even punish Western countries in because if they question China's policies, they would punish them, and this would then become a kind of an example for the rest of the world.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.